Okay, getting situated, making sure everything is in working order. Okay, getting situated, making sure everything is in order. Well, it sounded like it got me. Oh, because of the mic. Duh. All right, so today, at least for like a couple hours or something, because I might be playing Borderlands later with Ray and Amy, or I might not. But for now, it seemed like a pretty good time to go ahead and get started on playing the Resident Evils in preparation for the Resident Evil 2 remake that's going to be coming out at the end of this month. I don't know if I'm going to be, just like with every other game that, um, just like every other game that's been coming out this year, um, that I've played, which which only includes God of War and Spider Man. I have not been able to start these games as they came out. I think God of War. I think by the time I started with that game, it was like a month later, and I think with Spider Man, it was like 2 months later. But that's okay. I'm not here to um I'm not here on a, I'm not on a rush or anything like that. I'll get to these games when I get to them. I just thought that before I get to the Resident Evil 2 remake, that it would be pretty fun to go ahead and play the original Resident Evil. The What was that? Oh, okay. Someone was acting up. All right. But I thought it'd be pretty fun to go ahead and play the original Resident Evil PS1 games, which is Resident Evil's 2, and 3. And I'm not playing any of the other side games. Not that I think there was too many side games as far as the PS1 goes. I think the only one that comes to mind is Resident Evil Survivor. Um, but I definitely will not be playing that. A lot of those side games are complete pieces of shit. Maybe one day I'll play Survivor, just like, for the hell of it. Um, but otherwise, yeah, no, we'll just be focusing on the main series, Resident Evils, and then um, after I play through, the original PS1 Resident Evils, uh, I'm going to play Resident Evil Zero and the Resident Evil One remake. Over on the PlayStation 4. So, definitely going to be, um, once again, streaming mostly PlayStation stuff. I don't mean um, to have things work out that way, but, it's just, I'm a big fan of God of War. Normally pretty good, playing those games like as they come out. So I didn't want the newest God of War to be an exception to that. And the Spider-Man game is another Sony exclusive. And so while these games aren't necessarily Sony exclusives, but I have each of these games on the PlayStation 3, and over on the PlayStation 4, I got the Resident Evil remake and Resident Evil. I think I pretty much got every Resident Evil that's come out. So it's like, in regards to Resident Evil, it's like, I don't know. I kind of almost feel like I'm like an undercover Resident Evil fan because I don't know. Um I don't know. I trying to put in the words for it, but I don't know. It's just like I don't go around like collecting like Resident Evil like everything and things like that. Um, but I've damn near played all of the games. I haven't played the newest Resident Evil that came out, and there's quite a few side games I haven't played. But as far as like the main series goes, I played the first. I played like up to 6 games. And then I played some of the side games, here and there. I've there's not too many game series that I've played I've played at least multiple times, at least like more than once. And but Resident Evil is definitely like one of those games where I play it every now and then. It's one of those games where I think the issue is that Capcom's always re-releasing these games, and they not only re-release them on like every system possible from here on out, but they'll release multiple versions of uh, the same game. Not That's kind of misleading. It's not necessarily the same game. It does have um, like minor updates, tweaks, stuff like that. But I think that's why like every few years I find myself playing through, another series of Resident Evil games. So case in point with Resident Evil 1, and that's why like cuz I don't know, I don't really feel like I'm a Resident Evil fan. Like I don't feel like I'm a hardcore Resident Evil fan yet. I've played through all the games and played them repeatedly, and there's not many game series or franchises that I go and I play through the games repeatedly. So with the first Resident Evil, I think I growing up I didn't actually own the first Resident Evil. I had actually I think at the time the first Resident Evil came out, I didn't even have a PS1 yet anyways. And Resident Evil had come out. A neighbor had the game. So um so like all us neighborhood kids would go, and we were we would go over to my buddy's house and play Resident Evil. And that was my initial exposure to Resident Evil. And of course, like while the rest is history, but at the time, we didn't know how big Resident Evil would end up being. And it was Resident Evil 1 alone was just such a big deal to us because it was such a different game. There are games with strong horror elements. There might be people who could even consider them uh horror games. But there wasn't quite anything like Resident Evil at the time. And I think for me, what makes especially the first Resident Evil game great, because to this day the first Resident Evil is still like my favorite one, believe it or not. I know the easy one that people like to say is Resident Evil 2. And while it is a good, well made game, definitely improved on a lot of aspects from the first game. But there's just certain things that from the first game that didn't necessarily carry over to any games after that, really. So, anyways, with and then eventually, like when I did get my own PS1, I ended up borrowing the game from. So with all right, so by the time I got my own PS1, I of course borrowed the game from the same buddy, and play through that, and that was the original Resident Evil. So what you're seeing here is the Resident Evil director's cut. So there's actually a few different versions of Resident Evil 1 that came out. One was the first off you have the original Resident Evil. Then after that you had the Resident Evil director's cut. Um and then you had the Resident Evil director's cut Dualshock version or edition, whatever the hell. And and there's actually supposed to be differences in each one. Even with the DualShock version, like it's not just that they added DualShock. They did add like other stuff. Not that I'm too privy on what each of the differences are, because growing up, I was the only version of the game I was really familiar with was that original Resident Evil. So with it was either the director's cut or the DualShock version, either one of those. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I believe so the Resident Evil director's cut, the one before the DualShock version. So this came out in a way to kind of like appease the fan base in regards to Resident Evil 2, because Resident Evil 2 ended up getting delayed. And so they released this version of the game, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's supposed to have new audio, like different audio. Um, I believe different difficulty modes, things like that. Uh, Actually, if anything, this one may not have the difficulty mode. Not this one, but the original director's cut didn't have it. But when they did the DualShock version, I think the difficulty modes was added into that. Um, and then so I think really the thing that made the director's cut edition special was I believe in regards to the cutscenes, especially like the opening cutscene, they kind of it was kind of a bigger scene, but they edited and cut it down for reasons, violence, stuff like that. But they ended up releasing the full video, I believe. But I kind of remember, again, not that I'm too positive, but I do kind of remember some issue where they released a director's cut for one of these systems. Might have been the PlayStation version, or like in a specific region or something. And I don't know who got the shit end of the stick, but in one of the regions or something for the director's cut, we somebody still got the original cutscene as opposed to the uncut video. So they were like, you know what, it's cool if you go to this website, you can watch the video. It was like, or they sent you something so you can like watch it on a computer off of a disc or something. And keep in mind, like, this is, by then this is like the late 90s, so trying to download or like watch a video online was kind of a pain in the ass. There was such a thing as cable internet, but um most people had 56K modem. But I think I babbled enough, so I should get started. I missed this old school PS1 intro. This game contains scenes of explicit violence and gore. Oh, so cheesy. It was so cheesy. See, director's cut, Resident Evil, Dualshock version. If it wasn't Dualshock version, like, you don't see the thing at the bottom. Resident Evil. Controls pretty basic. You got the tank controls for the directions. And then even if though it's analog, like, I never got used to using analog in these games, so I'm probably gonna stick to the D-pad. Jaeger scope. Hey, what's up, dude? Resident Evil. Oh, okay, so that really was it for the options. New game, got original. Okay, so I don't think these were in the original director's cut version. If anything, I think just original and arrange were. But so original mode is basically the original difficulty for Resident Evil 1 when that first came out. Beginner is supposed to be the Japanese difficulty that they got when the original game came out. Because for us over here, they actually made the game harder. Like, I know that there's a preconception that Japanese games are like, and gamers are really skilled, and their games are like really really hard. And actually, more times than not, that's not the case. If anything, we actually get the more difficult games. Oh, I guess I left it idle for too long. Remember when games used to do this? When you used to leave the screen alone and it would kind of go into demo, or play like a intro story or something that you wouldn't get otherwise. And then arrange is, I guess, one of the like original or beginner, but with major items in different locations and stuff like that. Resident So, but we're gonna be playing it on beginner because I like my games as easy as possible. And we're gonna start with Jill Valentine because, other than picking the difficulties in the beginning, I guess Jaeger scope left. But anyways, other than the difficulty levels you got to pick at the beginning, if anything, when the original Resident Evil came out, this was probably like the closest thing to difficulty. Not that their games are, too much different or too much more difficult than the other. But there's like little things like, Jill has a lock pick, so there's like doors that she could open, whereas Chris would need to find like small silver keys to open those. He would have to find them to open those doors. Instead, he also has um slightly less inventory slots, and Jill at least has a support character with Barry. Granted, Chris does have Rebecca, but I don't think you see Rebecca till like later on, and she doesn't quite save you or whatnot like you'll see in a part that has concerned Jill. So like for example, with Jill, you can get the shotgun for her like pretty early into the game, whereas Chris, you can't. And for anyone who doesn't know why, well, we're about to find out. But as far as the any other Resident Evil versions go, there's so I think the next time that I played Resident Evil again, the original Resident Evil, was probably when, yeah, I would have to think, yeah, when the remake came out. So when they came out, oh, Jaegerscope. Thank you for following. That's awesome. I hope you're still here because it doesn't show that. Um, like it only shows that's me on the viewers, so that's why I haven't done anything. I'm just waiting to see if any other people show up. So I'm just babbling in the meantime. But thank you for the follow. That's pretty awesome. So, but otherwise, yeah. So Resident Evil One remake for the GameCube, which is part of the reason why I even bought a GameCube was for the Resident Evil 1 remake. And I think at that same time, Eternal Darkness came out, if anyone's familiar with that game. So those were two, really awesome games to get for the GameCube. And then I played Resident Evil on the original DS. So yeah, it's like, so I played this game quite a few times. But it's like I play it like once like every few years, something.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we're searching for the helicopter of our compatriots Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of our mission.
Found it?
No, I haven't found it yet. Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City.
They spelled bizarre
outlandish
wrong.
reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. Bravo Team went to the hideout of the group and disappeared.
Look, Chris!
It was Bravo Team's helicopter. Nobody was in it. But strangely, most of the equipment was still there. However, we soon discovered why.
Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine. Barry Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Albert Wesker. Resident Evil.
They have escaped into the mansion where they thought it was safe. Yet,
What is this?
Wow, what a mansion!
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
But Chris is...
What is it?
Maybe it's Chris. Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Okay, let me handle this. Stay alert!
A dining room.
all right. So a couple of things. I guess we were the ones that got screwed out of the uncut intro because that was for sure the edited original intro. I did get to see the original uncut one like after the fact, but that one definitely ain't it. In the uncut one, you see more violence from what I remember. You don't see close up shots or just close up shots of the dogs, and it's in color as opposed to being black and white. And I don't recall the music during that scene, so I really don't know why the music was changed. I don't know if it was like a rights issue, licensing issue, something.
What?
But
What is this?
What is it?
Blood. Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Hope this is not Chris's blood.
all right, I feel like the game is a little dark for the stream, so I'm going to try to brighten it up a little bit. Okay, that looks a lot better. If I need to put it brighter, like I can. So, but I guess this is a fairly well lit room. Let me put it up one more time. Okay. This should be okay. Figure out later on if I need to do anything else with it. Alright, so one of the things that makes Barry useful in this game is gonna be this part here. This iconic cutscene. Where we have our introduction to a zombie. A slow-ass zombie. Now, we could go ahead and fight him if we want. Or we could just go back to Barry in the dining room.
Barry?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this. What is it?
Kenneth was killed too. Maybe by this creature. Anyway, let's report this to Wesker.
Alright, so now we're gonna run back to Wesker.
Wesker! Help me look for him, Jill. And don't leave this hall for the time being.
Now we're supposed to run around trying to look for Wesker.
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Beats me, too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining room again.
Okay, I'll try the door on the opposite side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could get into trouble if we get lost. We should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Thanks. Maybe I'll need it.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. This time, I'll be there.
And of course we officially split up like, you know, any good horror story. Everyone split up and separated. Now that we are on our own, we should equip handgun. You see I start out with, go back. Handgun, 15 bullets, a knife, and first aid spray. Um, a knife. You could you could reasonably like fight, a zombie with a knife. Though it takes a while to kill them, you might get hit a couple times doing it, and it'll be really hard to knife them once you have more than one. And of course, there's going to be certain enemy types that's going to be far more difficult to kill with a knife. Not that it isn't impossible, because so one of the huge crazy things from that was a big deal from back in the day was that someone did a run of Resident Evil where they beat the game with just a knife, and they recorded it and everything. And that's why, like, in Resident Evil 2 and sometimes in other games, like, you'll have a secret character that you can play as, which is Tofu, who just has a knife. So it's kind of like to mock or reference that accomplishment. Will you take ink ribbon? Yes. So this is how we save. And we have limited saves, so we can't go crazy saving the game. So if anything, I'm gonna save the one time at the moment. Even though I'm the type of person that likes saving. But because I'm playing it on beginner, because I think the way beginner works here is like all the items you get are actually double. So I believe, like, originally when you picked up the ink ribbons, you only got 2 at a time. And there's if you do find all the ink ribbons, I think it does amount to maybe like around 20 something ink ribbons in the game. So as long as you save once, like even like once every half hour, you should be okay. And then same thing goes for the ammo. Alright, so I'm gonna go and pick this up. Normally for these games though, I like to cheat. Very rarely do I play these games without cheating. Since I'm playing it straight from the PS3, I have no choice but to play it fair and square, which doesn't please me. But the main reason why I cheat is not because, like, I find these games, difficult or I have a hard time or anything like that. He's Kenneth from Star's Bravo team. Now he's become a mere shadow of his former self. We're gonna investigate his body again so we can get some ammo. So, and again, normally, like, I think each clip that you picked up came with 15 bullets. We got 30. So, the plan is to basically kill everything. Everything we see, it's gonna die. But yeah, so anyways, it's not that so much that I found these games to be, like, really, really hard games or anything. But what made these games annoying is the inventory. You can see we just started the game, and I already had these 3 items with me. I got ink ribbons, I got items that you have to pick up to that will help progress in the game later, or in this case, like, soon, you'll see. And then picked up clips. And that's not counting like any other keys, any other weapons, any other items. So inventory management in this game, and especially in these early games, is kind of annoying. So if I played the game and I had like infinite health and infinite ammo, then I don't have to worry about carrying around 11 different herbs and spices. I don't have to worry about having ammo, in addition to having a gun, having ammo for that gun, because it just takes up space. But music notes? Yes. Anyways, yeah, but inventory is just such a hassle to deal with like, in these games. So that's why like I used to always cheat when I can. Uh, but because these games got re-released on consoles that don't allow cheat devices, I have no choice but to play it fair. But at least with the versions of these games that I have, I think they allow like an easier modes and stuff like that. I don't think there's anything else I had to do here. Let me double check. But I really don't think there's anything else here in this room. Let me see what happens if I go back in and if I can push the shelf the other way. Alright, can I push this the other way? Nah, won't let me. I was hoping that maybe if I pushed it the other way, it would have more items behind it. Not that I could really carry much more. And then you could imagine how worse it is, like, for Chris, because with Chris you get 2 less item slots. So, that's why if that's why, like, one of the reasons I consider Chris to be, like, the harder of the game, because now you could, you can't carry as many healing items, can't carry as many weapons, but you still gotta carry, like, all these different keys and shit, and items. Alright, so now that opened up. Can I interact with that anymore? Because I thought there was like something in the fireplace, but I don't think so. Alright, no. Doesn't even let me grab the emblem anymore. Which is fine, because I don't need it for anything else. Alright, now we just got our first mansion key. You take it? Yes. So since we started on the side, let's see if it opens these doors. I don't remember shit about this game. Yeah, there's nothing else. Yeah, so I don't remember anything else about this game, so I'm still gonna be acting like I never played this shit before. Yeah, that's right, this is left from the inside. Because I know you got people out there. Oh, this is left from inside too. Who played these games a whole lot more than me and know like all the ins and outs and all that. And while like I'm just familiar with these games, I'm not like at an intimate level like that. So, if you were expecting a speed run or a run from a skilled gamer, this is the wrong place. You went to the wrong stream. The streamer is not in this castle. It's in another castle. Alright, we won't go up the stairs yet. Let's go here for now. Alright, so in this room here, gotta move this over. Let's push this over. We have to move it this way because I think if you try to move it the other way, it's still blocked. Alright, and I know that there's a zombie here. Oh, he's down. I don't know if I could shoot him. Yeah, I can. Damn it. That's what I was trying to avoid. Like, getting hit. Not that it probably did that much damage at all, but still. Like, it's very important to not get attacked like that repeatedly in this game. So we got another set of ink ribbons. Is there really nothing else here? Let me double check. Nope, just that. Let's try going in here. You have used the lockpick. So, and there's doors like this where Chris wouldn't be able to get into unless he finds like a separate small key. These are keys that are universal for those types of doors. You would have to find like each one. And then there's this iconic room. Okay. It's not good that I wasted that many shots. Yeah, that's not good at all. You know, they only take like 3 or 4 shots to kill, and I wasted almost like a whole clip just killing one. So yeah, so controls and aiming, it wasn't necessarily perfect in this. You know, for people who haven't experienced these games, they kind of run on tank controls. So basically, like, for me to move, you know, forward, like, yeah, I press up, but I have to make sure, you know, I'm facing that direction and then press up. So let's see, so I can push some of these things. Is there not anything here, or did I push it the wrong way? Let me get out and come back in. Try that again. But yeah, so that room, that hallway, is actually a very iconic room because it was for a lot of people in this game, you know, their first jump scare, as you're just running down the hall minding your own business, and all of a sudden you got dogs just crashing through the windows. Is there really nothing here? I just pushing around for nothing. so here's something. Alright, we take the clip, yep. More bullets. Except for all the all the bullets I wasted just now. But yeah, that was most people's, first major jump scare in these games. Wow. Graphics, at least they're kind of alright. I'm playing it off the PlayStation 3. And it does improve the graphics quality at least a little bit. So to the point where it's like, oh, I can actually see your eyes, because I think originally I couldn't. And and I don't see how I could, considering, uh, game, especially this game didn't look that good back then, and we're playing on very small TVs. Alright, that door's locked. Carving of an armor. Okay, so I'm gonna need the armor key for that. Wherever the hell that is. Going in here. I think, is there a zombie? No. Oh, no, there's no zombie in here. Maybe it's in one of the other difficulties, or could be thinking of the remake. Nothing useful. Got a mirror. Is there really nothing else to this room? Okay. I'm probably thinking of the remake, because I think the last time I played the remake was maybe like last year, a couple years ago, when it came out for the PlayStation 4. And I thought there were zombies in this hall, but it could be later on that they show up. Oh, this shit. Okay, so this is where playing as Jill is a little bit easier than Chris. Make sure there isn't anything else wrong here. Make sure that there's no other items to get other than this, because I won't be able to go back into this room. So, yep, I'll take the shotgun. Now I'm full of items, so I need a fucking inventory box. And we're gonna go in here. And we're gonna watch what happens. And now the wall, or the ceiling is coming down. It's not that door back to the room is locked. Oh, this door's locked too. And what's with the really shitty music? I don't remember this music being played originally.
Hey, what's going on?
Jill?
Barry.
Is that you, Jill? What happened?
Barry, help me, please. The door won't open. Quick!
Stay away from the door, Jill. I'm gonna kick this door down. Hurry! This way!
Yeah, what's with the shitty music?
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life. But Barry, didn't you say you're going back to the dining room to do some research? Why on earth are you here?
I just had something I wanted to check. Now, let's get back to searching for the lost captain and Chris, shall we?
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So had we played as Chris, I don't we either would have died or we couldn't leave with the shotgun. We would have to find something to replace that slot for the shotgun. But with Jill, she's able to get the shotgun pretty early on into the game. Alright, he ain't dead. Now he is. Motherfucker. Oh. Yellow. Yeah, I gotta stop taking those kind of hits. I can't afford that shit. But I should still be good. Alright. Now, so an easy way to tell that they're still not dead is when they have the pile of blood form under them. If they fall down and they don't have that pile of blood form from underneath them, they're still alive. And you can shoot them while they're on the ground, or you can wait till they get up. Okay, I don't think I have... Okay, so luckily this room is the inventory room, so I'll be able to put away stuff that I picked up. And I could also save it as well. Not yet. I mean, normally when you find a typewriter, you also find an ink ribbon nearby. Oh yeah, I can't carry anymore. What am I doing? But I'm gonna need that for later. Or for soon, maybe. Alright, so I'm gonna need the key. Let me put this first aid spray away. I'm gonna put the shotgun away for now, because I don't have much in the way of ammo for that. And it'd be useful for, the more difficult enemies and bosses. But what is interesting is the inventory comes with 2 extra clips. Let me see if I can combine them. Alright, cool. Alright, cool. I can just combine them all like that in the clip. Alright. That works out. Oh, I should probably also put away the knife. Definitely not going to be needing or using that. Alright, so let me pick up this stuff here. A chemical, yes. I remember what I'm going to be needing that for. Thought I run into Wesker again around here, but I don't remember. You take the green herb? Yes. Take the. Not only will I take the green herb, but I will combine them. That away. And now we're gonna save. before we continue on, let's put that ink ribbon away. Alright, and now we should be good. Here, I got weapon with ammo, key, and healing item. Should I be going up the stairs? Yeah, why not? Actually, no, maybe I should go back and keep checking out the first floor. Oh, locked. Carving of a helmet. So in each of the games, or at least the early games, some of the early games, you had like themed keys. So in this game, each key represented like a piece of armor. I think one key was like a sword, one I think was a shield, one was armor, one was a helmet. Oh, okay, this room. I heard the crows, and yeah. So these crows ain't gonna fuck with you as long as you don't do two things. One, I think shoot or fire at them. And the second thing is don't get this puzzle wrong. Picture is entitled The End of Life. There's a switch below, will you push it? And that's what happens. God damn it. How's my health? Alright, my health's alright. I don't think they deal too much damage. So if I go back in, they should be perched again. So, and you know, you can kill them if you want, but then that's just like wasting ammo and you might risk getting hit a few times. I don't think they deal too much damage, but still. Picture is entitled From Cradle to Grave. So basically, if I'm not mistaken, each of these pictures are supposed to have like a button or something in them, and I gotta press them in a certain order. Picture of a tired middle-aged man. There's a switch below. Will you push it? No. A picture of a newborn baby. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Not yet. A picture of a young man. There's a switch. Will you push it? Nope. A picture of an infant. There's a switch below. Will you push it? No. Picture of a lively boy. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Nope. Picture of a bold-looking old man. There's a switch below. Will you push it? And no. Alright, so the first picture that you see when you walk into here basically is the clue to how to solve this puzzle. It says From Cradle to Grave. So basically you're supposed to push buttons under these pictures in a particular order. And the order is, if I'm not mistaken, is, you know, starting from a baby till old. So a picture of a newborn baby. There's a switch. Will you push it? Yeah. And then I think the next one is the infant. A picture of an infant. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Yeah. Then I think there's one of a lively boy. Picture of a lively boy. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Yes. Alright, which one was this one? Picture of a young man. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Yeah. Then we got the middle-aged man here. Tired middle-aged man. Oh, yep. And I think we got one more picture to go, which is this one. Picture of a bold-looking old man. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Yes. Alright, and now if you feel confident that you did everything right, go back over here. Picture is entitled The End of Life. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Yes. And boom. We got our star crests, which we can't use right away. We have to find a set of these before we can really use them. And as you can see, the birds aren't fucking with me anymore. Let me... Oop, wrong door. Alright, so let me go back in here and let me put that that crest away because we're not gonna need it. Actually, I might be able to at least place it for now. Let's check before I start putting shit away again. Alright, it'll let me go. Because this is supposed to be like hallway of sorts. Not a hallway, but like an outside hallway. Oh, doggy. They usually come in twos. Okay, that was not the case. Alright, I could just put it away for now. So yeah, there's a set of emblems or crests that we need, and placing them all in will open this door, and which I believe is outside the mansion. Still very much part of the mansion, just an outside area of it. But we can't do anything about that for now. Alright, and then, so that was the puzzle room. So, oh, okay. Then, with that being said, let's... Yeah, I guess let's go in here and go upstairs then. Yeah, we need load screens for stairs. Alright, so he died for sure. Alright, he's dead. Doorknob is broken. You unlocked it? Did I just shoot his hand off? Was that a thing? Was that always a thing that I could do in these games? He's dead. I didn't know I could shoot off like individual limbs like that. I never noticed that before. Alright. So that's all the enemies in this hallway. So I came in through that door. So let's check this out over here. I don't think there's enemies in here. No. An uncommon. It's well arranged. Botany book about medicinal herbs. As you may know, there are many plants that have medical effects. Since ancient times, humans have been healing wounds and diseases using various plants. In this book, we're going to sample 3 herbs that grow around the Raccoon Mountains and give their outlines as examples of those plants with medical properties. Each herb has different colors and different effects as medical plants. The green one recovers physical strength, the blue one neutralizes natural toxins, while the red herb does not have any effect by itself. The red herb is only affected when it is mixed with other herbs. So basically, the green herb by itself will heal your health, but I believe it heals like a little bit. But if you combine it with another green herb, then it'll grant you that much more health. But when you combine it with a red herb, um, I believe like it can heal you like completely. If I'm not mistaken. Um, Other than that, I don't think there's a point to combining red and blue. Um, you can you could actually, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you can combine a green, red, and a blue, and basically you just created a concoction that will not only heal you but cure whatever poison you may have. But I kind of found that to be I don't know, kind of a waste. Because if you're poisoned, you just need to you may not need to heal also, but you just take the blue herb and you're fine. But at the very least, there's no point in having the blue herb and then combining it with the red herb, and then that's it, because it's not going to do anything more than that. Just if you combine it with the green, then it'll be able to heal you significantly, while also curing you of whatever poison. For example, if you mix this herb with the herb that recovers physical strength, the recovery effect will be tripled. By adjusting the amount and experimenting with these 3 herbs, you can create various kinds of medicines, but I'll leave the details in your hands because that's the best way to acquire true knowledge. Well, there's not really that many, not many various ways. It's either with the green herb, you can combine, I believe, up to 3 herbs, and that will, that should significantly heal you. Combining 1 green herb and 1 red herb will give me the same effect of the 3 green herbs in one. Having a blue herb by itself, no matter what, is going to cure me of the poison. Mixing it with a red herb, I don't think it's going to do anything. But combining it with a green herb, now you have something that will significantly heal you while also curing you of poison. And I believe that's it, basically. Botany book has been filed. So I could go back and read these, any of these files, if necessary. It doesn't seem like there's anything else here. Just that book. That was it. I think this serves as a shortcut to get to the other side of here. Oh yeah, okay, so it just took me all the way around. That was it. so it was there that I went, so now we're gonna go the other way around. We go around, I'm gonna go over here. And this is locked, carving oven armor. There's a door here, and there's a door there. So we're gonna go in this door here. Oh, it's locked. Carving of an armor, so that needs an armor key as well.
Barry!
Jill, what's going on? Any clues?
No, but something's wrong with this house.
Whoa! This hall is dangerous. Maybe it's better to secure our escape route first. There must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
Okay, let's separate again.
Just a moment. I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
Alright, so he gave me acid rounds, but I didn't get a grenade launcher yet. And now he's off. Okay, this is where I get the grenade launcher. And then I think he's going to come back up. I don't remember which person in the team this is supposed to be, but this was one of the members of your team. Alright, let me get the rocket launcher. I mean, not rocket launcher. Well, it's called bazooka here, but really it's the grenade launcher. It's Forrest. He's been pecked to death by crows. Ah, shit. Shouldn't have done that. Ooh, made it out in time. Not that I was, like, in much any threat, but I think had I not interacted with the body, then the crows wouldn't come out to bug me. So, my guess is that Forrest must have been, attacked on the way, to this room, I think. I don't know, it's kind of weird, because, the blood spots start here. You know, he probably dragged, like, his face or shoulder or something over here, and then went in here, and then he got pecked to death. So, I don't know what was up with his injuries here. Alright, so now I got the bazooka, so now I can use the acid rounds with it. Let's see if I could go in this door. Nope, it's locked. Carving oven armor as well. Alright, so there's really nothing else, nowhere else I could go down here, so we'll go back upstairs. there's a door here, and I think there's... Oh no, there's nothing here. There might have been another door here. Otherwise, it's kind of a weird spot in a mansion. It's like, you have nothing else here, yet, you know, you have the overhang, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so we're up here now. Oh, come on, dude. He's dead. And we got a zombie on the other side. Let's take him out. And he's dead. So for this, I'm gonna have to push the statue. Because there's like a... Just so happens to be a broken railing here. Here I am in someone else's home and I'm smashing their shit. Right, so... Go back out of here. I'll go back downstairs in a bit to collect that, but first... Let me go back to the room just before I met up with Barry. Yeah, with these games, it's really like important to try to play it as frequently as possible because you don't want to, you know, you want to be able, even though you do have a map of the mansion, you want to be able to have still like a good memory of, you know, doors and locations and how to navigate around the mansion. Otherwise, you might forget. All right, that needs an R key. But otherwise, yeah, you might forget how to navigate your way around, and then when, let's say, you haven't played for a while, and you come back to play, you don't know where anything is. Alright, we could go in here. Found another herb. So now I can do this. And I think that's the most I could combine it to. I thought it showed up as a big fat mound, but I guess not. So now, like, if I'm down to, like, red, this should be able to heal me just fine. Alright, with this... Wood is put in the stove, a paper is on the wall. I can't do anything with this yet because I need a lighter. Granted, I have a bazooka, but let's not use logic in this shit. Especially in the sense that, like, we have all these doors, and, like, we can't break through them or anything like that. And... Oh, this is locked. Carving of a helmet. Alright, so this was a complete waste. Anything, what I'm probably gonna do, since I'm over here, is... let me put some items away. so we'll put the bazooka away, but I'll keep everything else. I'm not gonna save it yet. It shouldn't be necessary for me to save yet. I'll wait till I do some more stuff or do something of significance before I save again. Even though saving really shouldn't be like an issue, because I should find more than enough ink ribbons to cover for all the habitual saves that I like to make. But I'm gonna try to tough it out. It was this room, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, I was supposed to go downstairs. I could get what I dropped. Keeper's Diary. May 9th, 1998. At night, we play poker with Scott the Guard, Alias, and Steve the Researcher. I wonder if it's supposed if they were trying to say like Elias or something, because I never heard of, you know, Alias as a name. Or maybe it's pronounced Elias. Yeah, and see Researcher. Steve was really lucky, but I think he was cheating. What a scumbag. May 10th, 1998. Today, a high-ranking researcher asked me to take care of a new monster. It looks like a gorilla without any skin. They told me to feed them live food. When I threw in a pig, they were playing with it, tearing off the pig's legs and pulling out the guts before they actually ate it. May 11th, 1998. Oh, foreshadowing, by the way. May 11th, 1998, around 5 o'clock this morning, Scott came in and woke me up suddenly. He was wearing a protection suit that looks like a spacesuit. He told me to put one on as well. I heard there was an accident in the basement lab. It's no wonder those researchers never rest, even at night. May 12th, 1998, I've been wearing this annoying spacesuit since yesterday. By spacesuit, I'm sure you meant, you know, a hazmat suit. Knowing spacesuits since yesterday, my skin grows musty and feels very itchy. By way of revenge, I didn't feed those dogs today. Now I feel better. Well, that just sounds sick. May 13th, 1998, I went to the medical room because my back is all swollen and feels itchy. They put a big bandage on my back and the doctor told me I did not need to wear the spacesuit anymore. Guess I can sleep well tonight. May 14th, 1998, when I woke up this morning, I found another blister on my foot. It was annoying and I ended up dragging my foot as I went to the dog's pen. They have been quiet since morning, which is very unusual. I found that some of them had escaped. I'll be in real trouble if the higher-ups find out. May 15th, 1998, even though I didn't feel well, I decided to go see Nancy. My first day off in a long time, but I was stopped by the guard on the way out. They say the company has ordered that no one leave the grounds. I can't even make a phone call. What kind of joke is this? May 16, 1998, I heard a researcher who tried to escape from this mansion was shot last night. My entire body feels burning and itchy at night. When I was scratching the swelling on my arm, a lump of rotten flesh dropped off. What the hell is happening to me? May 19, 1998, fever gone but itchy. Hungry and eat doggy food. Itchy, itchy, Scott came. Ugly face, so killed him. Tasty. Or itchy, tasty. So we can assume that's more likely this dude. But so yeah, so from reading the files, and this was kind of like one of the things that we know, which is why I consider the original Resident Evil still like one of the best Resident Evils, is because much of the story you don't really find out until you stumble upon like these files. And if anything, that's really how the story, or at least the events, you know, leading into this, this is how you find all that out. So in this case, you know, you could tell, you know, when he was woken and he had to put on the hazmat suit, that was when the initial accident must have occurred. And, you know, people were told they weren't allowed to leave the grounds because, you know, they gotta contain this shit. To the point of even killing people who are trying to escape. You know, this. So this dude in particular, he got infected somehow, and he just started showing the effects of a zombie. You know, like just blisters, dead skin, stuff like that, until he just slowly lost his mind and became a zombie. And yeah. and this led me back out here. So I don't think I got anything new to help me out there, but so let me go deal with something. So yeah, so I mean, so the guy got you know, infected, ended up starting to eat people, and that was, you know, already crazy by then, but it was probably like after a couple more days, and he was just full blown undead zombie. Hey, what's up, Dark Man? I don't know what you're trying to say. Beppis? I don't know what that is. But what's up, though? Oh, I didn't want to use it on this yet.